If you want to cover long distances over differing road surfaces, the chances are you're going to be lining up an adventure touring bike in your garage. They offer the comfort of a touring machine, the durability of an off-road machine, and the on-road dynamics of a conventional sports tourer. Two of the biggest models in this sector are the Kawasaki Versys 1000 and the newly updated Suzuki Strom 1050. Both bikes have been in production for some time now, with the Versys starting in 2012 and the Strom way back in 2002. In this head-to-head we're going to take a look at the top spec Versys 1000 SC versus the Strom 1050XT to try and help you to figure out which one to buy. Before we go any further though, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of Visordown's videos. The Kawasaki Versys 1000 comes in two forms, the base model and the top spec SE version. The SE is priced at £14,399 and for that you get electronic suspension, cornering lights, colour dash and the self-healing anti-scratch paint. You get a quick shifter, a taller screen, heated grips and hand guards. It's also the only one that comes in the special metallic green colourway. You can even opt for a Grand Touring version of the SE, which gets a full complement of luggage included. The new 2020 Strom 1050 also comes in two flavours, with the stock bike and the more off-road styled XT version. The XT, which is the focus of this review, comes in at $11,299 and for that you get the rim-lace spoke wheels over the cast wheels of the standard bike, engine crash bars, you get power modes, switchable traction control, cornering ABS, hill hold control, a centre stand, engine covers and cruise control. Despite being called 1000, the Versys is actually a 1034cc engine, which packs 120 bhp between the crankcases. It produces a claimed 75 pound-foot of torque and puts the power down through a 6-speed gearbox linked to an assisted slipper clutch. Out on the road, the Versys is a typical Kawasaki unit. Bags of mid-range grunt and a smooth, refined delivery. 120 bhp from 1000cc isn't much these days, but Kawasaki have been careful to focus the engine on refinement, smooth delivery and economy over outright performance. The Strom comes in a shade larger than the Kawasaki, with a 1037cc V-twin engine. With a claimed 106 bhp and 73 pound-foot of torque, it too is mated to a 6-speed box and assisted slipper clutch. While the Kawasaki is silky smooth torque and refined acceleration, the Strom is as grunty and strong at the bottom end as you'd expect from a big V-twin. The Strom doesn't though have much in the way of engine character. If you're looking for a bike that just gets on down the road with minimal fuss or bother, it's an ideal unit. The Kawasaki is claimed to return 43 miles per gallon on a combined run. Taking into account its 21 litre tank, that should give us a range of around 250 miles. By the same rating, the Suzuki is claimed to return 57.65 miles per gallon, and with its 20 litre tank that should also mean over 250 miles is on the cards, although in both cases it's probably sensible to stop earlier. If there's one thing that splits these two bikes more than anything else, it's the way that they handle. The Kawasaki is by far the much sportier of the two machines, with very similar on-road dynamics to the Ninja 1000 SX sports touring bike. You may think it's a mismatch to place a bike with electronic suspension against one with manually adjustable kit, but actually in this case it's really not. The suspension on the Kawasaki is more about ease of adjustment for changing from riding solo to riding with full luggage and a pillion rather than it is out-and-out performance. The Kawasaki is more inclined at being thrown at an apex when the mood takes you, but I think that's more to do with the chassis and the wheels than the actual suspension system. Don't be fooled by the off-road styling of the Suzuki V-Strom. The suspension setup of the bike is very much leaning to the road side of adventure touring. You do though have the ability to adjust it, although on stock settings for road riding it's actually pretty good left as it is. The bike is a big old beast, but with that comes a feeling of excellent stability and sure-footedness that inspires confidence. I think to sum it up, what the V-Strom lacks in sporty prowess, it makes up for with some impeccable road manners. Spending hours in the saddle on an uncomfortable bike is very literally a pain in the arse. The cockpit of the Kawasaki is a very pleasant place to spend a day. The ergonomics are easygoing and not too sporty, with your legs in a comfortable, slightly bent position. The seat too is very comfortable, not something often seen in this sector, and it's big enough to allow you to move around if you need to do so. The screen too offers good protection with little or no buffeting at motorway speeds. The only downside that I found was that to adjust it you have to twiddle a knob on each side of the screen and then lift the whole thing up a bit, tightening them back up when you've done it. It's all a bit of a faff when you're hurtling down an alpine pass and it starts to piss it down. The Suzuki is also a very pleasant place to spend a day, with a wide fuel tank that dominates the riding position. The ergonomics of the bike are absolutely spot on for my 5'7" frame, although the seat on the thing is overly hard and with little or no contour to it. Why do adventure motorcycle designers need to put a hard seat on a bike to call it an adventure bike? The screen on the V-Strom 2 is adjustable, although even more frustratingly than the Kawasaki, the designers located the catch to unlock it on the front of the bike, totally out of reach unless you stop, get off and then adjust the screen. It's decisions like this that genuinely makes me question if there is any sense in this crazy world that we live in. While it's true that neither bike here is the perfect all-round adventure touring motorcycle, they do both cater for slightly different niches within a wide segment. The V-Strom is a great touring bike with some off-road capability thrown in, almost as a kind of cherry on top of the cake. It's definitely not an all-out adventure motorcycle though, despite the chunky styling and adventure spec rim-laced wheels. It is though a very competent, if slightly dull, touring motorcycle. Although at the price point that it is, can you really complain about that? It's also one of the few adventure bikes out there that looks the way it does. If you're looking for a bike with bags of on-road skills and a modicum of off-road talent, for the money the V-Strom is a very nice looking machine. For those that are looking for a touring motorcycle with long legs, bags of tech and enough handling to bring a grin to the face of the most knackered motorcycle traveller, the big V-Strom is a very good choice in a very crowded market. The Versys 1000 SE is an exceptional touring motorcycle with a smidgen of adventure bike styling thrown in. And I'm being careful how I choose my words there, because any adventures that you take on the Versys will have to be on road and not off it. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe and the notification bell to stay up to date with all of Visordown's latest videos. For all the latest news, reviews and motorcycle features, please head over to visordown.com. Thank you.